Good evening, everyone. I'm Neha, Ambassador of Change from GETI, that is Global Education and Training Institute, founded and conceptualized by Dr. Sunita Gandhi with the vision of disrupting education as we know it. We also organize pre service and in service training for teachers so that they can actually spearhead the disruptive education movement. And also, under the same banner, we organize detox where we invite researchers, policymakers, educators to discuss various best practices. And today, I'm very honored and thrilled to have amongst us Mr. Siddhant Gupta from Lucknow, who is the CEO of Money Matters, an organization that works towards creating financial independence and financial literacy, one of its kind in India altogether. A very warm welcome to you, Mr. Siddhant Gupta.
Hi Neha. Thank you.
So today his topic is a bit unconventional. He's going to be talking about financial literacy, how to make students take financially independent decisions. This is an unconventional topic, I say, because financial literacy is very important. It's a very core skill to participate in the society as a whole, but we haven't really been able to take it up so strongly and boldly in our curriculum. So, Mr. Siddhant, would you be able to explain your topic, financial literacy, in a detail so that it sets the background today for our audience and people who will watch eventually?
Yeah. So in simple terms, it's about how you manage your money. You know how money works in one simple statement. And the earlier you learn it, be it as an undergrad student or if you're a school student, it'll eventually help you once you are in your job or XYZ work you'll be doing. Because the problem we have observed is people start their jobs and everything, and only after 4 to 5 years they start thinking about, okay, what do I need to do with my money? How to manage it? And in my opinion, by then it's a bit too late. Yeah.
On the same lines, you are the CEO of Money Matters, an organization that deals with this very particular subject. So, what is your organization doing towards creating financial literacy in general? A couple of points would help
Okay.
us.
So what we do is we work with individuals and we help them shape their psychology about the finances and money. The earlier they do it, the more essential it is for them. Like how you think about money, how to invest your money, where to save. And we also talk about spending. Like one of the major elements of our conversations we have with everyone, our clients, it is about that you should spend. We make a corpus of spending. Because if you don't spend, at one point in time, you'll get frustrated and you'll spend it all, which will defeat the purpose. And it happens with everyone. It happened with me, like when I was young in school, college, and I guess it happens with everyone.
I guess, yes.
And it's about money basically. How you think about that one word, money. It all
Right.
revolves around that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, since we've established why we need to be financially literate, it's an important core skill. What are your thoughts on educating students as young as in, say, class 10, 9th, 11th, 12th? What should be done to educate them about the importance of saving money or being just financially intelligent to take decisions, considering that they do not have money of their own? They have their parents' money, which they think they can spend in any way. So, in order to inculcate skills, uh, for a future, how do we educate them in the present when they do not have money,
Okay.
and in the future they will obviously?
Okay. So firstly, to start with, they do have money. But
Okay.
the point is, they think it's a free flow. You go to your
Okay.
parents, you ask for my money, and you'll have it. Maybe easily, maybe after a scolding, but eventually you'll have it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
as a class 9, 10, 11, 12, or whichever class you are in, you get some money from your family, parents, everyone. So you can start saving from that. Even if you get like 1,000 rupees a week, you can keep 100 to 100 rupees aside as your savings.
Okay. Okay.
So
So, okay. Okay.
eventually, by the time you'll be in undergraduation, or you'll start working in a job, you'll have a habit of saving. And it is all about building habits. It's all about how you wire your brain to work.
So, how exactly do we wire as educators the brain of a 9-year-old child, and when he has 1,000 rupees, and how do we tell him to prioritize that this is not your canteen money, this could be saved as well, or this is not a money you're supposed to be spending on, say, maybe, I don't know, something interesting. How do, for example, I'm a 9-year-old kid and I get 2,000 a month. How do we tell them that a certain portion of it could be saved for somewhere in the future and not be spent on video games or canteen, food, cafes?
So, well, there are two, three ways to do it, which I can talk about. Firstly, as a 9, 10-year old, the boy or the girl, he cannot go to a bank and open a savings account. But as a parent, you can tell your kid that, okay, if you keep this 2,000 rupees with you for the next 6 months, I will give you 100 rupees extra. And you explain it in the way of interest, that two I will keep 2,000 rupees in the bank, 1,000, 2,000, and we'll gain 100 rupees interest, and I will pay you 100 rupees over and extra of your another 1,000 rupees.
Okay,
One way
okay.
is that. Another way is, all of us, we have mutual funds, SIPs, shares. You can open a small SIP of 100 rupees a month for your child, irrespective
Okay.
of his age. And you can show him that, okay, I'm saving 100 rupees for you every month. We invested 1,000 rupees, but now the value is 1,130. That will interest him. And that will motivate him or her to save. So
Okay,
these are
okay.
small, small things which we can do. As an educator, a teacher, you can tell people or your students that, okay, boss, you gain in the last 3 years, you took X money from your family, your parents. If you would have saved the money you spent in the canteen 2 years back, now you can use the same money. If you hadn't eaten that extra Maggie in the canteen, it would have given you the money to buy the chocolate for your girlfriend. For example, if it's a class 10th or 11th student. Just a No, because these things actually work, because these are the things which will interest the student. If you give them theories, they already have way too many theories. You need to
Okay.
involve them.
Okay, okay. That's a very good point that you have raised over here to give them some sort of incentive at the end of the tunnel to save money eventually at the beginning. Okay. But that's for parents. And also, I realized that in order for a child to understand that there is some sort of incentive at the end or there's some sort of interest that lies at the end, I think they need to be aware of the basic concepts of saving, money, literacy. And
I just
that
had
I
one
think,
more.
sure, sure,
I'm
sure, sure.
I'm I'm sorry, I'm interrupting, but it just struck me, and it's important. As children, you can tell them anything, but the probability of them actually doing it is far less. But if they
Yes.
see you doing something, they will imbibe it very fast. So if you
Okay.
are a parent and you are spending money, there's a there's a hard chance your child will save money. You save money or you don't save money is something different, but at least your child should see that, okay, my parents are saving money, so I should do the same. Yeah, I'm so sorry, but I had to bring this up.
Absolutely. That's a very good parenting tip, actually, that children usually copy what their parents are trying to do. That's the perspective of the parents, I believe. As I was saying, to understand basic, in general, also apart from motivation and incentives, I think they also need to understand core concepts, which I think begins from the classroom. So, what do you think should be the role of teachers and educators to educate children about financial literacy and the fact that they should know about money and how inflation 10 rupees today is 50 rupees tomorrow, all of this in a more interesting manner, so that they actually take interest in something that's going to be a very huge part of their life later on. What can teachers and school do in that direction?
We can start with the basics with the basics of economics, which is fear and greed.
Okay. Okay. Can you explain that? I'd
Yeah.
like the concept.
As a student, you are fearful of the future that boss, I'll grow big and I'll need money. You will go for internships, you will go to a institute for
Job.
your graduation, undergraduation, and as a class 10th, 11th student, you know you have expenses which you can't tell your parents. We
Okay.
all have. And it could be as simple as that I go out with friends, I eat the main course as well, and I eat ice cream worth 200 rupees. And your parents will be like, you ate ice cream worth 200, you get it for 40 bucks. But when you're
Absolutely.
out with friends, you you can't just say that, I don't have money. So we need to be more realistic with children and think in their terms.
Okay.
And after that, we can explain inflation. Or if you want to explain inflation to children,
In
an
an
example
interesting
is
way.
dairy milk.
Okay. In an
In an
interesting way.
interesting way.
Yes. Yes. That's
Yeah,
important.
it's a dairy milk or a packet of chips. Earlier, you
Okay.
used to get, say, 100 grams of chips and 20 rupees. In the last 5 years, when you started eating chips in class 4th, and when you started and while you were eating chips in class 10th, the quantity has reduced by 10% or 20%. The price
Absolutely.
hasn't increased, but the quantity has is down. So this is
Uh,
because of inflation. We are increasing the prices.
okay. Okay. Mr. Siddhant, I would have to interrupt you. There's a comment in our comment. There's a question in our comment section by Mr. Farheen Muhammad. He says, "What can be done to help people make better financial decisions? How can we solve financial problems for leaders, teachers, and students?" I think he's asking a very valid question over here, and but he's included all the stakeholders of financial literacy for students. So that's a very broad question. Would you like to take that?
Okay, I need your help in this. When we talk about financial problems, I'll make one thing very clear. You talk to me or you talk to anyone, everyone
Okay.
has financial problems and they will always have financial problems. Tomorrow,
Absolutely,
even if
absolutely.
you make 100 crores, the one phrase we say, yaar, paise ki problem hai. Even
Absolutely.
after having a worth of 100 crores. So you need to
Agreed.
figure out, okay, so what the help I need from you, what exactly are we trying to solve?
Um, the problem
What
of,
you can help me with that.
I think we're trying to solve over here that being able to fulfill our needs and desires with the amount of money we have. I mean, is that right? Or in the same direction?
Yeah, it's on the same lines. So when we talk about we want to solve our financial problems, first figure out why do they or why do those problems exist in the first place, and it is different for everyone. Is it
Absolutely.
related to your expenses or is it related to your income? Can you reduce
Okay.
your expenses or can you do something to increase your income without uh, with the other thing being in place? For example, if you're increasing your income but eventually you are increasing your expenses as well, the problem will always remain there. The first part is getting clarity about what is the exact problem you are trying to solve
Okay.
and
Yes, that's
then
important.
work on a solution.
Okay.
And
Um,
if I go,
yes.
if I simplify it, like as they mentioned, as the person mentioned, that financial problem for a teacher, a student, and everyone,
Educators.
it's about one thing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's in one line. All of us want to achieve financial freedom, where you have so much money, where you are not concerned about it,
Okay.
which comes down to accumulation of wealth or money. After that, we
Yes.
figure out where to invest, how to invest, and do all these things. But first and foremost, get into the habit of say accumulation of money, which is savings. And there are 10,000 ways of saving money.
Absolutely.
I can talk about for 24 hours straight on and give you 1,000 tips of how you can save money. If you want tips on how to save money, as simple as go on Google, read, and the most important part, implement it. At least one of the tips, if you implement, it will help you. but we talk about it, but we don't implement it, and that is where the whole problem is.
Absolutely. On one more thing, you mentioned that coming to a consensus where we can accommodate everything. Do you think there are external factors which influence our, money spending decisions? When I say factors, I'm not talking about someone said go and buy something, so you buy something. I'm talking about various marketing and marketing techniques to sell you something. Conspicuous consumption. I want to have that thing because that's looking good. I want to have that thing because my friend has it. I want to buy that thing because everyone has it. We all, and this actually begins with students. Students are very vulnerable to all these things. As adults, we realize that there is a certain only so much that we can spend on all these things, but children especially are very vulnerable to all these marketing techniques and you know just because they see it,
Yeah,
their friend have it, so they want it, and that's also wastage of their parents' money in a way, which also sort of wires them to believe that okay, so I had it when I was a kid. I think it continues with them. So, what's would be your take on that?
yeah. So here the role of educators and parents is the first, where we
Okay.
need to teach children how to think,
Yeah.
and it isn't about money; it's about actually how to think.
Okay.
There are advertisements. There is way too many forces out there which influence you both indirectly and like straight selling. But if a child knows that I don't need this because I need this, he won't get influenced.
Okay.
When you know where you are heading to, you don't go here and there. For example, if I'm in Bombay and I want to go to New Delhi, and flight ticket to Jaipur or Hyderabad is one third the price, I don't want to buy it because I need to go to Delhi.
That's
Similarly,
very
the problem with children is they don't have a direction, and as elders, we need to give them the direction. We need to show them the future without being after their lives, and we have to change our behavior as well. If with all due regard to all the parents out there, if you are shopping every week or every 10 days and you are telling your child, don't, you should save money, he won't. If you are happy with the 12 shirts you have in your wardrobe, it's great. He will see that, my father is wearing these 12 shirts for the last 6 months. If for this, for like, आजकल शादियों का जो भी time period चल रहा है, for once, don't do something for the world, do it for your child. As males, I can tell, and I personally do this. You have one suit with a white shirt. If you keep changing the ties, you have a new suit for every wedding. Can you teach this to your child? It is as simple as that. It is the efforts which need to be taken care of from our end, the elders.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's a very good example that you've taken to fine tune the behavior of parents so that they can actually influence the decisions of their children. Sorry. Um, Again, I would expand and build an echo on that question. To teach them about all these things, what do you think the resources for financial literacy should look like for, basically for schools and their curriculum? And let's say for parents as well, what are the resources that we can use? Not just textbook and chalk and talk, but various hands-on methods with which we can teach them about the psychology of money as well, and the to take basically financially independent, intelligent decisions as well, or
If I talk
something
about
else.
schools, if we talk about schools, in my opinion, it should be activity based.
Okay, yes, that's the point.
For example, if the schools can say that, boss, all of you bring in 100 rupees each every month, and you save it, and
Okay.
at the end of the year, while you will be promoted to the next class, you will be returned. The money will be returned to you with some interest.
Okay. Okay. Okay, that's a good
So,
point.
if a school can bear the expense of 100 rupees to teach 100 rupees every year or 200 XYZ amount in teaching each individual, that okay, you have earned this. They will realize the power of savings. If it's a class 11th and 12th and the branch is like finance and economics, we can do a virtual stimulation of stock market where there are 100 students, be it individually or in four five groups. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you pick up any stock and you give a presentation on why one should invest in the stock. It can be a
Okay.
weekly activity.
Okay. Okay.
At least
Okay.
the children will go, they'll talk to their parents, they'll research the internet, they will read. So once they themselves see that, okay, a Maruti stock has gone from 3,000 to 6,000 in 3 years, they
Mm-hmm.
will get an itch. I can also invest, or I should have
True.
invested.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And it's all about how to think. It isn't about that they have to make a stock recommendation in front of investors. They could be
Mm-hmm.
talk they could be talking something which is absolutely nonsense. But we need to teach them that how the real world seems like.
Okay, that's the two very good points that you raised to educate children about financial literacy. A quote comes to my mind. Warren Buffett, I think he said it that he learned about investing at the age of 18 and 19, and he thought that was too late. So he thought he should have begun even earlier in life to learn about
Yeah,
investing.
the age of 11. It was the quote mentioned the age of 11.
11.
And
Okay.
another point is, in school we talk about simple interest, compound interest, all these things from class 6. But do we teach students the real application? If I know compound interest, great. But I don't know where will I apply it in real life. And by the time you reach that point where you actually need to apply this, you have been filled with those science formulas and how to run a computer, how to make software, that you forget the one formula you were told about in class 6, which is the most essential in building wealth.
Absolutely. I think it's because we teach compound interest in maths, we teach stock market in commerce, and we teach about the economy in economics. So these are three different subjects where we are teaching about financial literacy. So a child doesn't. So when I'm doing compound interest, I'm not thinking that this might help me in life. I'm thinking I should just get done with it, get marks, and just pass. So because we're teaching concepts of finance over various subjects, children don't realize that this is actually a skill that we're trying to teach them, which is why it is essential for it to be a separate core subject or activity that they can remember actually later on in life. That I was taught this, which is why I think this is important right now. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think, and I'll give an example from sales. In
Hmm.
marketing and sales, there's one thing which we tell all our clients in the strategy wing, that you need to tell your clients that you need this or how to use this. Like, if it's a pen, it can
Okay,
be used as a status symbol, it can be used to write exams, it can be used to sign, it can be used for 10,000 things.
absolutely.
But as a marketer, I need to tell the other person the uses of this. So similarly, as an educator, if we are marketing something to our students, we need to teach them how to do it. If we can have a workshop every week about, okay, that you had economics, you had maths, you had this. Now, how in reality are you going to use this? We can always do that.
We have another comment in the comment section by our very enthusiastic participation candidate today. He's Farheen Muhammad again, and he asks, "How do we make financial decisions smart? And what are the 5 stages of financial decisions? Are there 5 stages of financial decisions? I did not know that." It's by Mr. Farheen
Firstly,
again. He's enthusiastic today.
I'll keep it simple. First of all, simplify and don't go into theories.
Okay.
5 stages, 10 stages, 25 stages, all this. It's of no use, to be honest.
Okay.
And he asked something, that how to make smart
Smart decisions. Yes.
decisions. first of all, the first step towards the smart thing is start making financial decisions in the first place.
Absolutely. Then only you can be smart at it. If you don't begin, how will you become
Yeah,
smart at it?
like if you come to a person like me and you tell me that I want to make smart decisions. My first question will be, where do you stand at X point in time?
Absolutely.
Do you
Absolutely.
even know the basics of savings, personal finance, investing? Because smartness, something which is smart for me can be dumb for you, and something which is smart for you can be dumb for me. Because in finance, we always say we have all the crap in the world about building assets. Like you should save money, build assets, and they will grow their value in time. But do you know there are 30 kind of assets which you can build?
Okay.
Now we need to figure out which kind of asset is decent for me. For example, we work with clients across the globe, and there are people who are in their 60s, 60, 65, early 40s. They have properties, they have made properties, but it is all illiquid money, and you can't sell a property.
Okay. Why is
So,
that?
how can they have wealth?
Okay.
But if I need 25 lakh rupees, I'm not going to sell a property worth 8 crores, right?
Absolutely.
If the same money was in the savings bank account or the mutual fund, you could have sold it and had your 25 lakhs. Again, if I focus on the smartness part, it is firstly to figure out what is the outcome you want. Only after, look, smart has this definition, systematic one, which is being sold by all the courses. You find it on Google, YouTube, everyone is selling that. But
Yes.
again, it is again a theory. No one talks about the actual implementation of it. Which starts with firstly figure out what is the end goal you want. And if you don't have a goal, I can give you one simple goal which will work. That is
Okay.
accumulation of wealth for financial freedom. Because eventually that is the end goal you have, right?
Yes.
Later on, you
Absolutely.
can figure out what you want to do with the money.
Okay, that was the answer. The answer was very made too much sense. I hope Mr. Farheen is satisfied with your answer. One question that struck in between before the comment arrived was you mentioned about students invest savings and all that. Um, are there, for example, what would be something that you would like to tell to our children watching and who will watch about various, specifications regarding opening a bank account? Maybe I'm not sure if students below 18 are allowed to do that, or if there are new provisions now, and various other small resources and websites or plays or movies. Movies would be a very good idea where they can learn about financial literacy or financially taking financially independent decisions, because these are the things that children need right now. They don't need to know which stock they should be investing in right now, although the simulation that you mentioned, that was a very good step. But other than that, how we can
Okay.
let our students know.
You as, as a student, you can open a bank account, but the main holder will be someone else, your parents.
Okay, okay, okay.
Even if you have say 100 rupees of savings, 100, 500, you can go to the bank and deposit it, or you can ask your father that okay, you give me 100 rupees a day or say 1,000 rupees a week, कैश आप मुझे 800 रुपए दीजिए and transfer 200 to my bank account. It is
Okay.
called automation of savings. Like you have SIPs. So once you're
Yes,
in
yes.
a job, you will be in that wired thing that how can you automate your savings?
Okay,
Here's like
okay.
one small example. And another thing which I would recommend everyone, with all due regard to all the students, there are a ton of financial books available out there. You should read
Yes,
them like you read novels, जो भी आजकल की आती हो, I don't know the names. And you don't have to go out and implement जो उस book में लिखा है. But when you read something, it gives you a cue to your mind to think.
absolutely.
And then you can talk about your parents regarding the same. And as regards one more thing that I get this way too many times, that
Mm-hmm.
how can students say they don't have money? They spend money on all the crap in the world.
I
So
know.
if they can't save, I don't think so anyone can save.
Okay, okay, okay. That was very that was very thoughtful to mention books and various other. The bank account thing was something that needed clarification. So if students and parents are watching, then this is one step that you can actually start to implement financial literacy for your children. Uh, there was a very wonderful discussion. Would you like to add something else to this discussion, which I might have missed somewhere in the process? For students, basically, financial literacy, making financially intelligent decisions. I think I've covered all the
Yeah,
comments also. Yeah.
as well as taking intelligent financial decisions for students is concerned, I'll give one example which actually students can do, and I recommend it to elders as well. For example, you go out with your friends,
Yes.
and you suppose, be it it's your birthday or your friend's birthday. First, let's start with if it's a student's birthday. He gets to it like, I don't know आजकल बच्चों को कितने मिलते हैं, हमें तो इतने नहीं मिलते, like say 2,000 rupees, 2,000, 5,000, whatever. If I take 8 of my friends out to a particular restaurant, it will cost me 4,800. If I take them to a next restaurant, it will cost me 6,000. So students are like, मैं 6,000 वाले में लेके जाऊंगा, no, you get that ego factor. 5,000 पेरेंट्स से लूंगा and 1,000 rupees अपनी जो सेविंग से निकाल के, rather than they should think, or how we did, 5,000 है, मैं 4,000 4,500 रुपए में अपने सारे दोस्तों को निपटा दूंगा, 500 रुपए सेविंग्स में ऐड कर दूंगा.
Okay.
Why not think the other way around? So these are small things. Another thing is आपके फ्रेंड की बर्थडे है, someone is giving them something, आप लोग रात को फोन पे बात करते हो, यार उसकी बर्थडे है, क्या देना है, क्या दें. Like I still remember I was शायद मेरे पूरे फ्रेंड सर्कल में था कि सिद्धांत गुप्ता अगर किसी बर्थडे में आ रहा है, he will give one thing which is a pen.
Okay.
500 रुपए घर वालों से मिलते थे, किसी फ्रेंड की बर्थडे होती थी, 300 रुपए का आता था पेन, और 200 रुपए जाते थे सेविंग्स में. पेरा कार्टन का पेन उस समय 180 220 का आता था, वो मिल गया तो 80 रुपए सेविंग्स में. और एंड अनदर वे व्हेन यू ऐड टू योर सेविंग्स, उसमें भी इवन एज अ स्टूडेंट यू शुड स्पेंड,
Okay.
because people like kids are independent. Like for example, you save $1,000 and घर में जो खाना बना है you don't want to eat, and you can't even tell your father, I want to order something because आज सुबह ही आपने कोई हरकत की होगी और आपने डांट खाई होगी. If you have that $1,000 of saving now, you can order a Domino's pizza or in 300 rupees. So that will give you a sense of financial freedom. That why having your own money is important.
A financial
As a
sense of
student,
financial
there is,
security as well. Yes.
yeah, a sense of financial security. And you have brought up a very important point, financial security. Because as a student, wherever you are spending, be it as a student or as an adult, if you're spending at the next place, see, can you reduce the expenses?
Okay.
And there's one more thing which I would recommend students and parents also, if they can do with their kids, negotiations. This,
Okay.
like, for example, there's a family marriage or something, and your mom says, no, shopping karne jayenge. And you tell them, no, I have this clothes, I have these two shirts, I will wear the same shirts, and you are going to spend, say, 2,000 rupees on shopping, you give me 1,000 rupees. I will keep it in my savings, you will save 1,000 rupees, I will save 1,000 rupees. Generally,
Okay.
parents aren't going to accept it. They'll say, हमारे पास इतने पैसा नहीं है, तुम्हें दो शर्ट दिलवा पाए and all that crap. But if as a kid, you can win that conversation and even take 500 rupees. With financial planning, you will also be gaining some negotiation skills. And
Yes.
parents should encourage these kind of conversations with their kids, or they can initiate this कि boss ये है तुम्हारा ये खर्चा हो रहा है. You are asking for an iPad. चाहिए या नहीं? अभी iPad rather than जो parents करते हैं, आज आईपैड मत लो तो 2 साल बाद ये दिलवा देंगे टाइप्स। 2 साल बाद की बात मत करो, आप आज की बात करो। आईपैड मत लो तुम बेटा, 21,000 का 8,000 रुपए तुम्हारे बैंक अकाउंट में मैं डाल दूंगा, जिसका एक्सेस तुम्हारे पास है।
Absolutely, absolutely,
It
absolutely.
is about, you need to involve children with you, teach them and show them. Just giving out gyan won't help because it hasn't happened in the past 1,000 years, and आगे का मुझे पता नहीं। बच्चे माँ बाप की नहीं सुनते, बच्चे बड़ों की नहीं सुनते।
Absolutely,
Another,
absolutely.
there's another very important thing, and it comes from psychology, which I would like to add. As
Yes.
a parent, आप एक चीज समझ लो, एज एन बच्चे आपकी तो सुनेंगे नहीं, बट हम, व्हेन आई वाज अ किड, या इवन आज भी, एंड नेहा आपके साथ भी होता होगा, देयर इज वन एल्डर जो पेरेंट्स से छोटा होता है, हमसे बड़ा होता है, उससे हमारी बड़ी अच्छी ट्यूनिंग होती है। इट कुड बी चाचा, मामा, भैया, फूफा, कोई भी।
Someone in the
यू
family,
शुड
yes.
आप उनसे ही कन्वर्सेशन करो कि यार तुम इसको ये चीज समझाओ, और ये कन्वर्सेशन तुम उससे करो, बिकॉज हर कोई अपने पेरेंट्स से इतना खुला हुआ नहीं होता है। हर फैमिली में कोई फैमिलीज ओपन होती हैं, कोई नहीं होती, कोई स्ट्रिक्ट होती हैं। सो it hasn't only been about parents. As an elder brother, if you feel that you can strike a negotiation with your younger brother, try doing that.
Okay,
Or
okay.
maybe when kids go out, no, you go take a kids to McDonald's. He'll say, no, burger भी खाना है, fries भी खानी है, coke भी पीनी है, and parents हड़का देते हैं, नहीं ये नहीं। Strike a deal with the kid. I'll buy you a burger and I'll give you 100 rupees extra. You
Okay.
keep that. And whenever you want to have a burger, don't even ask me, you have it. बट होता क्या, पेरेंट्स कहते हैं आज बर्गर ले लो, अगली बार आएंगे तो फ्राइज और कोक ले लेना। सो
What?
यू नीड टू, एज अ पेरेंट वी नीड टू बी रिस्पांसिबल। वी कांट
Yes,
फूल किड्स, दे आर वे टू
absolutely.
इंटेलिजेंट।
Absolutely. If we want the future generation to be financially independent, we have to be first financially independent. We have to, wire ourselves to wire our children with, research, resources, study, and through, behavior,
Absolutely.
because they mimic our behavior at the end of the day. That's evolution. We cannot, do anything about that. That is bound to happen in any way. Yes. So
And
yes, please, yes, yes, yes.
yeah, just one thing. It's if you bring it down to the basics, be it education, like even the past in the past 20 years, even the education has changed. We are talking about online classes, online lectures through videos and all that. It's so more interactive. So when you want to teach financial literacy to children, we need to involve them. Like if you are visiting a bank branch or the stockbroker or your mutual fund agent or whatever, take your kid along.
Absolutely. That's a very good point. Yes.
You teach them. He'll just be there, overhearing your conversation, and he will learn eventually. It's all about involvement, in my opinion.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's also one way you can mold their behavior, apart from study and everything, because we usually learn through these chance encounters and spontaneous conversations here and there. That's how we pick up our
Yeah.
behavior. That's a very good point you've raised. Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I think I do not see any more comments here now. Yes. So I think we should wrap this session, concluding that financial literacy is a very important core skill, and we need to go beyond the importance of it, just stating the importance, because I think by now we have established that financial literacy is very important, but why? And how and what do we need to do? We need to answer these questions in the form of various resources. And as Sir said, through reading books, through taking them through to your stockbroker or maybe your bank branch, opening their bank account on their behalf, and various other simulations and a habit of saving as an activity that could be introduced. That those are very wonderful points, and as teacher trainers, we usually take these points and try to inculcate them in our curriculum, and we try to pass this on to other researchers and educators as well. So that was a very wonderful discussion on a very unconventional topic, and I'm so happy that we touched so many aspects in such a short span of time. And I'm very confident that if these are implemented, then we can actually nurture a generation that's financially independent, financially secure, and is taking financially intelligent decisions. So we might not be able to see that, Gen Z is the poorest generation and the baby boomers are doing well. We might see a change and shift in the news paradigm as well. And I am very hopeful, and I believe so will Mrs. Siddhant be hopeful of the future. And
Yeah.
thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. We wish you all the luck for
Thank
your
you.
venture that's working towards this direction. And we hope to see you around once again. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you, Neha.